For some help with that, I'm going to bring in the Money Men, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor Seth Denson, and America's accountant Dan Geltrude. Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Hey, Christina. Good.
So as always, let's start off with the markets, give everyone a rundown. The markets finished yesterday down, but just barely. The Dow lost 171 points, while the S&P and NASDAQ barely landed in the red. However, things are looking way up this morning with both the Dow and the NASDAQ futures up more than 300 points. Dan, what happened yesterday with the markets, and what can we look forward to for the rest of the week?
The market's going to continue to swing based upon whatever news, true or untrue, by the way, coming out of the Ukraine. Is Russia going to invade or not? And that uncertainty really has a big impact in which direction the market is going to go. Because if there is an invasion, for example, what is that going to do to energy costs? Now, everybody is assuming that energy costs are really going to go up. And based upon that, what's going to happen? More inflation. More inflation means potential for higher interest rates. And we've already gone over what the impact of that could be on the market. Not good.
And then pivoting to one of everyone's favorite foods, avocados. The United States just said that they are going to suspend all imports of Mexican avocados. This comes after a threat was made to a U.S. plant safety inspector. Many of the avocado farms, they're controlled by drug cartels, as we know. Seth, you're down close to the southern border. What is this going to do to the avocado market? The price for one is already astronomical, higher than it's been in recent years. What can the public expect?
Well, expect less avocados, and of all the things we've had to give up over these last 2 years, you're taking away my guacamole too.
I was going to say, of all the things to get rid of, you're going to take away our avocados?
I'm telling you, I know there's a lot of really terrible things going on in the world. I don't mean to make light of them, but first world problems here. This is awful, but it's actually not first world problems, and here's why. 80% of the U.S. avocados come out of Mexico, and that accounts for about their exports. Mexico's are about $3 billion of this, which to their economy is a big number. So, listen, this is going to have a dramatic impact on the actual Mexican people. Listen, Americans will survive without avocados for a little bit, but the price is going to go up exponentially, which is just going to compound already inflated prices on everything else. But this is a tragic thing for the people of Mexico specifically, as so much of their export revenue comes from avocados.
Right. It's horrible because the cartel are the ones who made the threat, and then, the people are the ones who are going to end up paying for it, which is just awful because they're already, hurting enough. The Kellogg Company made a $70,000 donation to help support military families. Dan, there's so many veterans and their families who are so in need right now. How can more companies help? Do you think that if larger corporations were taxed less, we could see them, maybe taking that money and shifting them towards being involved in more charities and donating more?
Not unless they're so motivated to do that. Now, look, if corporations are going to pay less tax, who's to say what they're going to do with what they're netting? So if you really want to encourage corporations and you want to encourage charity, then you have to look at the Internal Revenue Code and figure out a way to incentivize those to do so. And how do you do that? You provide them with tax breaks, tax credits, whatever the case is. So I personally do not think it's a bad idea at all for us to have a little bit of a tweak on the tax code for corporations to incentivize them to help people like our veterans, and we know they really need it. So I think that would be a great move.
Listen, I think tax breaks on corporations right now, especially after COVID, would be such a great thing. And then also, you're right, if there was incentive to be able to turn around and then help even more people who were so impacted by all the pandemic did, I think that would be a great thing. But due to supply chain issues and a lack of new cars available, the price of used cars is up 40% for a used car. Seth, is it still a better economic decision to buy a used car with the prices so high? Or should people maybe start thinking about, hey, maybe a new car might be better right now?
Yeah, Christina, that's a great question. Really, everybody's got to look at what they're ultimately trying to accomplish. How long do you plan to drive the car? All of those things. Are you willing to forego some features that maybe you would have gotten off of a new car? Here's the reality. Used car prices are up 30%, 30+%, while new car prices are actually only up about 16.5%. But new car prices already had a built-in inflationary rate just because of the depreciation value that you get once a car is used. So, really people have to make that decision based on how long they're going to drive a car. I will tell you, for us, Mrs. Denson's car was getting near the end of its life, and we did the math, and it actually was more economical for us to order directly from the manufacturer. So there's a tip. If you're going to buy a new car, you may want to look at ordering one if you can wait a little bit, because what happens is once that car gets to the new car lot, they're going to increase the price. But if you buy it directly from the manufacturer to be delivered to a lot, you're going to pay the MSRP and get a better deal.
Interesting. I'm sure, information like that can only help people right now as they're searching to buy new things. This is interesting. So Tesla has had a ton of recalls recently. The latest, though, I think is the most shocking one. A total of 579,000 vehicles have been recalled to turn off their boombox feature, which allowed drivers to play fart noises outside the vehicle, amongst other unusual noises. Dan, Seth, have you guys heard about this? Would you be very weirded out if you heard a car make that noise?
I think I would be. However, I don't know if that's enough to have a recall on it. I mean, is it distracting people so much that it's really causing harm? If so, I guess that's the basis for a recall. But I haven't heard any of those noises, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe
Christina,
in Texas it's a problem.
I've got three young kids, and I can only imagine the amount of jokes that would come out if those noises went on, or excuses, right? Oh, no, it was the car. It wasn't me. I can see that happening some too. So maybe this is a feature I do need to look for in that new car. I don't know.
Very strange. I don't know enough about it. I need to research if Tesla was actually hoping that it would make this noise, if it was malfunctioning, but definitely very weird and very interesting. Well, Seth, Dan, thank you guys so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.